They say Phi Pop is a story to scare children. A bedtime warning in rural Thai villages. But I'm telling you, it's not just folklore, it's real. And I know, because I carried it. My name is June. I'm Thai American, born and raised in Los Angeles, but my mother was from Udon Thani. She never talked much about her past, except for one thing. She hated funerals, wouldn't even attend her own father's. She said the dead sometimes don't stay that way, that certain rituals, if skipped, let something crawl in. I thought she was just superstitious, trauma maybe, PTSD from the village, until she died last year. I hadn't been to Thailand since I was a kid, but I flew back to handle her estate. I felt like I owed her that. What I didn't know was that returning would leave something inside me, something I can't get out. Her village was a patch of earth swallowed by jungle. No streetlights, no cell reception. The stars were so clear they looked artificial. The air carried the smell of burning leaves and something metallic underneath. Everyone stared when I arrived, not rudely, more like I'd walked into a story they'd already been telling. Lek, my cousin, met me at the gate. You came alone? Yeah, why? Nothing, just strange timing. I asked what he meant. He just shook his head and changed the subject. The house was still standing, a little wooden thing with a sagging roof and peeling blue paint. I recognized the porch swing. It used to creak when I sat on it as a girl. Inside it was quiet. Too quiet. That night I couldn't sleep. The jet lag was part of it. But it wasn't just that. I felt watched, like the house itself was listening to my breath. In the morning I found something scratched into the doorframe. Thai script I couldn't read. Lek wouldn't translate. He just stared at it and said, "She tried to keep it out." Then, under his breath, "Or maybe she tried to keep it in." I started hearing things on the second night. Soft knocking under the floorboards, rustling in the attic. A low, wet sound, like chewing. I checked for rats. Nothing. I chalked it up to the house settling. Old wood groans, right? Then the dreams started. The first was of my mother. She stood in the doorway, eyes hollow, skin gray. Her mouth opened like she wanted to say something, but only black water poured out. I woke up choking on the taste of iron. The next day, I skipped the temple visit and instead explored the surrounding forest. Trying to clear my head, I found a hut deep among the trees, collapsed, overgrown. Inside, a scattering of bones, small, animal I hoped. But something strange was carved into the beams. A circle with teeth. I took a picture. Later, I'd realize it matched the same symbol carved into my mother's journal, which I'd found under her bed. She'd been drawing it repeatedly, over and over, as if she thought it protected her. The dreams worsened. They became hungrier. I'd wake up to find bruises on my body, mud on my feet. Once a scratch down my spine I couldn't explain. But the worst was waking up in the kitchen, mouthful of raw rice. I don't even remember walking there. I started losing time. Conversations I didn't recall having. Dirt under my fingernails, the smell of rot clinging to my sheets. I asked Lek if I seemed different. He hesitated. You look tired, but more than that, you look like her, like your mom in the final weeks. What do you mean? She stopped sleeping, started hiding meat in her room, raw chicken, liver, said it kept the voice quiet. What voice? He didn't answer. I visited a local monk for guidance. He listened quietly, then asked if I believed in spirits. Only in the abstract, I said, folklore. He nodded slowly, then offered me a single sentence. Some stories aren't fiction, they're instructions. He pressed a packet of herbs into my hand and told me to sleep with it under my pillow. That night I didn't dream, but I woke to find bite marks on my arm, deep, human-shaped, blood crusted on my sheets. I live alone. I tried to leave the next morning. I packed everything, begged Lek for a ride back to the airport. But the road was flooded, washed out in the storm. I was trapped, and the hunger was getting worse. It wasn't just in my stomach, it was in my mind, whispering. I caught myself staring at a stray dog for too long, wondering how it would taste. That night I heard my mother's voice again. You opened the door. You carry what I couldn't. And then I saw her, sitting at the edge of my bed. Her face was wrong, too long, mouth stretching down to her chest, and something moving beneath her skin, like hands pressing outward from the inside. I blinked and she was gone. But the hunger stayed. Lek eventually confronted me. "You've been wandering at night," he said. "The villagers are scared." "Of me?" "No, of what's in you." He took me to a more Phi, a spirit doctor, an old woman with cataract eyes and hands like bark. She didn't speak right away, just studied me. Then she reached forward and pressed her thumb to my forehead. "Phi Pop," she whispered. "That's not real," I said. "Is cancer real? It starts inside, spreads, feeds, why not spirits?" She said my mother had it too, that she kept it at bay for decades, using rituals, herbs, offerings. But when she died, she passed it on. To me. Now I'm back in the US. But something's different. The hunger hasn't stopped. I crave things I shouldn't. I've bitten through the inside of my cheek twice. I keep smelling blood even when there's none. I've started sleepwalking again. And just yesterday, I blacked out for an hour and woke up in my neighbor's backyard. Hands muddy. Stomach full. You can call it grief, trauma, psychosis. Or you can believe what the old woman said, that something got in, and it's still eating.